Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you're a Brazilian student at the A2 level and you're working on your English, I am absolutely thrilled you're here today. We are going to unlock one of the absolute most powerful skills you can have when learning a new language, the ability to tell a really captivating story about your past. You might have the basic vocabulary down, but maybe you feel like your stories just kind of fall flat when you try to translate your life experiences from Portuguese into English. Well, that's exactly what we're tackling today. We're going to completely transform those short, simple English sentences into vibrant, structured, and just highly engaging stories. So let's dive right into this. So, tell me, have you ever had a genuinely boring conversation? I mean, the kind where you ask someone a question and they just give you a one-word answer? It feels like pulling teeth, doesn't it? It's physically painful trying to keep that conversation going. You ask a question, you get a single word back, and suddenly you feel like you'd honestly rather be talking to a brick wall. We've all been there, right? And more importantly, we never ever want to be that boring person for someone else. Picture this. Someone asks you, "What did you do yesterday?" And the response is just nothing. Conversation over. Total dead end. But listen to this alternative. First of all, I went boom. Instantly, the listener is hooked. They know a series of events is coming. They know they're in for a ride. By the end of this explainer, you're going to be equipped to guide literally any listener through a fascinating recount of your day, making sure your conversations are always engaging and never, ever hit that dead end. So what are we actually building here? We're learning to craft what's called an anecdote. Now, when I say story, I definitely don't mean a fairy tale that starts with, "Once upon a time there lived a king." No way. An anecdote is just a short story about something real that happened to you, or maybe to someone you know. It's how you talk about that crazy job interview, a weekend barbecue with your family, or a trip that just went completely sideways. Really, this is the core of everyday human connection. All right, let's get into Section 1, Details with WH Questions, Building Your Story's Foundation. I need you to memorize these 6 crucial questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how. These simple words are your absolute ultimate conversation savers. When someone gives you a boring answer, you use these to dig deeper. If someone says, "I started studying English," you can jump in with, "Oh, when did you start?" Or, "Why did you choose English?" And remember, when you ask these questions, make sure your voice naturally goes up at the end so the other person knows it's their turn to speak. Let's actually see how this builds a story layer by layer. Step 1, I ate dinner. Okay, it's a start, but it's pretty dry. Let's answer the who question for Step 2, I ate dinner with my mom. Better. Now we've actually got characters in our scene. Let's push it even further with a why question for Step 3, my mom cooked food because I was hungry. Look at that. By just answering our own internal WH questions, we've gone from a flat fact to a real scenario. This is exactly how you organically flesh out the missing pieces of any conversation, before your listener even has to ask. Moving right along to Section 2, linking with time sequencers, keeping things chronological. I want you to think of your life as a timeline. Every major milestone, like, when you were born, when you started elementary school, when you traveled with friends or graduated high school, it all happens in a very specific order. When you narrate these past events in English, you naturally use the simple past tense, like, I moved to a new city. But to help your listener travel along this timeline with you smoothly, without getting lost, you've got to explicitly mark the path. To mark that path, you need the right road signs, your time sequencers. To launch your anecdote, pick a phrase for the beginning, something like, first of all, or to start off with. Then, to keep that chronological flow moving without losing your audience, pull from the continuing category. Then, after that, or next. And when you're ready to wrap it up, because honestly, ending your story correctly is crucial for a satisfying conclusion, you use the ending markers, finally, eventually, or in the end. Pretty smooth, right? Okay, Section 3. Adding surprise with adverbs, interrupting the action. Often, the very best stories involve a sudden change of plans. You usually start by setting a background scene using the past continuous tense. For example, the sun was shining bright and we were driving down the highway. You're showing the progress of the action. And then, bam, you hit them with everything was going okay until. And here are the exact words that create that perfect dramatic interruption. We categorize these interrupting adverbs into positive and negative so you can clearly signal to your listener the exact emotion of the twist that's coming. If you're walking down the street and find a 50 real note, you interrupt the action with a positive adverb.
luckily or miraculously. But if it starts just pouring rain while you're wearing your absolute best clothes, you pivot with a negative adverb, sadly or unfortunately. These single words pack a massive emotional punch. So, the crucial point here is that these adverbs completely snap the audience to attention. Imagine you're telling a story about a really great party. You've sequenced it perfectly. First of all, we went to John's house. Then we started dancing. We were having a great time. And then suddenly, Amy fell off the bar. Words like suddenly and unexpectedly act as just perfect interruptions to that past continuous background action. It completely shifts the energy of the story in a heartbeat. And finally, Section 4. Crafting your past story, putting it all together.
Let's mentally practice this for a second. How would you describe opening your first bank account? Instead of just saying, I opened an account, you can now say something like, first of all, I went to the bank downtown. I was talking to the manager when unexpectedly the computer system crashed. Luckily, they fixed it quickly, and eventually I got my first bank card. See how much richer that is? You've built a whole scene in just a few sentences.
Let's try one more. Imagine taking a big trip from Brazil to New York that just went entirely wrong. You could sequence it like this. To start off with, we didn't have much money, so we went to simple restaurants. Then, we were eating downtown when unexpectedly a thief stole my wallet. I was desperate, but finally, everything was okay when the police arrived. You just guided the listener through an absolute roller coaster of emotions simply by applying our framework.
One final tip before we wrap this up. Use good words. Speak confidently, and please do not make your amazing story sound like a textbook by relying on boring adjectives like nice or bad. Exaggerate a little bit. If the party was good, it was amazing or fantastic. If the wallet got stolen, it wasn't just bad, it was terrifying or petrifying. Let your vibrant personality shine right through your vocabulary. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. You now possess all the grammatical tools, the sequence markers, and the vocabulary flair to completely transform your English conversations from boring one-word answers into brilliant, captivating anecdotes. You have the tools. So what's your story? Go out there, strike up a conversation, and start sharing your past with the world today. Catch you next time.